welcome back. And welcome to the affirmation section of today's episode. Okay, let us get into it. Yellow solar seed. I pulse in order to target, realizing awareness. I seal the input of flowering with the solar tone of intention, and I am guided by the power of universal fire. I pulse in order to target. This is an interesting one. What comes up for me here is, I guess to me, is kind of showing like method, or like the fundamental quality of alignment, which is also, the power of intent to align. And so the pulse is like, if you were to think of like a flat line on like on a medical kind of readout device, the pulse is like beep, beep, beep. And so that flat line would be like something happening like full on. And so it's like the pulse is kind of like the rhythm, or like the motion, the pulse, the wave pattern in many ways, that the energy or thought or inspiration or whatever it is moving on. And so that pulse, and so this is interesting, that pulse is the awareness. So it's like the whole realizing awareness. It's like I pulse in order to target realizing awareness. The realization of awareness is when that pulse actually targets, because the pulse is the actual awareness. It is the kind of like rhythm of the awareness, the shape of the awareness, the pulsar, if you will, of the awareness. And so I pulse in order to target realizing awareness. So the rhythm or the shape of the awareness, when that whole thing is realized, that targeting kind of occurs. And the product of the actual targeting awakens one to the realization of the awareness of the pulse. I seal the input of flowering with the solar tone of intention. And so that to me is like the dynamic of intention, the alignment, the aligning capacity of intention, because intention is bringing together that alignment. And so that which is being aligned then now has the property of flowering. It begins to flower. That seed then is hatching and it becomes a flower, because that intention is aligning the force of energy that is allowing it to flower. And I am guided by the power of universal fire, which is the sun. And so it's that very luminous quality. And so the solar seed, it's so appropriate because we're guided by the sun and we're solar seed. So this is really like the seed of light, because the tone ultimately doesn't have anything to do with, it actually kind of does have something to do with the guide, but it's really cool that the solar seed is coupled with the sun kind of energy. I find that very profound. And so, yeah, it's really, truly a solar seed. I pulse in order to target realizing awareness. I seal the input of flowering with the solar tone of intention, and I'm guided by the power of universal fire. Stay tuned for the oracle.